In this video, I'm going to show you how to knit the second finger. However, the way you knit the second finger is the exact same way you knit the thumb, you just have fewer stitches. So just refer to this video for the thumb too, as it is the exact same and I'm not going to make the same video twice. So I'm just going to do the second finger for this video. So start by placing the held stitches on your needle. So to do that, I'm just going to leave them on the thread, but I'm going to put them back on the needle like this. And they might almost fall in like mine have done here, but just you have the threads so they are secure, and just continue like that all the way around. You might want to pull your needle like that when you're halfway. I forgot to do that now, but I'll just show you it for the last stitch. And I'm just going to put that on the needle too. So I've got all my stitches on my needle, and then I can pull the thread and remove it. So it's a good idea to count your stitches now. Just to make sure you have the right amount and that you didn't accidentally drop one. So I'm just gonna divide them evenly, and then the next step is to pick up 2 stitches in the cast on stitches. So let me just show you where that's going to be. That is going to be here and here. However, when you do that, you will create a small hole. That's perfectly fine, and at the end you just take a bit of thread and you weave it in and sew the hole. However, there's a trick you can do to avoid this. It might feel a bit difficult if this is your first time knitting or you're a beginner, so you can just skip this part if you'd like, and you can just pick up the stitches. So I'll show you what you would do if you're just picking up the stitches first, and then I'll show you this trick to avoid the holes afterwards. But again, it's not necessary at all. So to pick up the stitch, I'll put my needle through like this, and then I've got my yarn here. I'll just wrap it around and pull it through. It can be a bit difficult. Some people like to use a crochet hook. So if you have that, that's an option. Or you can use a smaller needle, a thinner needle. That makes it easier too if you have it at hand. And then for the next one, you just stick your needle through like this, wrap it around, and pull it through. So now I've picked up 2 stitches in the cast on stitches, and then I would just continue knitting like this. As you can see, it creates a small hole, so let me just show you how to a little trick to avoid that. So I'm just going to pull this through, and we are back. We are back to where we were. So my trick, well, not my trick, but a trick commonly used for under the sleeves, you have these 2 little threads here that you can pick up with your needle under this way, and then like that. So it should look like this, and then you pick up your 2 stitches. One and 2, and then you do the same on this side with these threads here. So under like this, and then like that, and then you just knit. Now before I start knitting, I'm gonna place a stitch marker, because I'm going to be working around in stocking stitch and I want to save myself the trouble of adding all the numbers together and counting from the bottom. So this makes it easier to know that how many rounds of knit around. So just knit the first stitch now, and then I'll show you what to do with these extra stitches you picked up in order to avoid a hole. So this is just a thread of work cast on. I'm just gonna stick that in here. It can be a bit tight on the first round when doing it this way, but if you hate sewing like me, then this is a good trick. So I'm gonna knit until 2 stitches remain, and you can just leave 1 if you'd like, but I think it's easier with 2, so I'm gonna leave 2 and then pull it through and let them be on my other side. So again, it can be a bit tight here, but just pull your needles, pull your stitches to your needle and place them like you normally would for magic loop. So as you remember, I put 2 stitches, I left 2 stitches, I moved 2 stitches over to this side. So the first stitch I'm gonna knit, and then you see I've got these 2 stitches that I picked up extra. So before the first one, I'm gonna take my stitch here before, and I'm just gonna turn it around and put it back like this way. You can see it's turned the other way now, and then I'm gonna knit it through the back loop, and then for the next one I'm gonna knit 2 together so that we still have the correct amount of stitch, and then I'm gonna do the same again here for these other 2 stitches we picked up. So turn this stitch around, knit through the back loop, and then knit 2 together. It can be quite tight, but it saves you having to sew in 2 big holes. And then I'm just gonna knit around. And now I want to have my stitches evenly divided, so I'm just gonna pull them onto my magic loop like this, and then I'm gonna divide them evenly. And then you just continue knitting around in stocking stitch, and then you decrease just like we done with the first finger, and it's the same for the thumb. Any questions, just let me know in the comments. I'm now ready to start on my decreases. It's just the same as before. We're going to knit 2 together, but if you need a little refresher, I'll just show you how to do it. You just go through 2 stitches at once and knit them, and you just do that all the way around. That, and then cut the yarn, take your needle and just move your stitches onto the thread or pull it, and then pull it through. and do the same for the last few stitches, and then you're done with the second finger. And you just repeat this exact same method for the thumb. So feel free to watch the video again for the thumb if you need a reminder. And then remember to weave in your ends, including where you started and where you've cast on, before you felt your mittens.